Welcome back to the Omaha Beef Coaches Show.
We're going to discuss with him everything going on here.
We want to set the standard. We want to give our fans the best thing possible that we can.
God took me from the Carolina Cobras to the New York Yankees in about 2 days. I just love Omaha.
We're going to be here every Monday night, 6 o'clock, GOOSE'S, downtown Papillion.
Let's get this started now.
And welcome, everyone, to the Omaha Beef Coaches Show, Week 3. We are live at GOOSE'S Bar and Grill in Papillion. Jason Unger. Got DJ K DuB in the house. We'll be joined tonight, of course, by Coach Brandon Negron. We'll have Ricky Burtz on with us as well. We're going to have David Ross sit in on our players segment. This is kind of unusual for me, K DuB. This is my third year doing this, and not often do we come on Monday after a loss. I mean, it's kind of a weird feeling, kind of a subdued atmosphere here at GOOSE'S tonight. I think the team realizes that they kind of need a reset maybe after that season opening loss. Kind of unexpected, I think, by a lot of people. But at the same time, 44-31 setback to Pueblo at the Slaughterhouse on Saturday. A lot to dive into. We're going to dissect the game, you and I here. It was kind of a weird game. I never got the sense that the Beef offense was really able to settle in and play their level of football, what they're accustomed to. But at the same time, they led most of the game. I mean, it just kind of had a weird feel to it. Not much of a flow, but nonetheless, you get a 37-yard field goal from Chase Contreras. You're up 3-0, and then Terrence Jackson Jr. takes it to the house, a 40-yard interception return, and midway through the second quarter, you're up 10-0, despite your offense really struggling out of the gate.
Well, you had to count on some people that might not have expected that was going to be the expectation coming into week one. You're always trying to prepare yourself the right way, but as coaches said, even from the beginning, it's always going to be next man up. You got to be ready. The team has to fight the adversity. I thought they handled it pretty good, but did they accept it too well to where they didn't think they had to finish? Those are a lot of things where the mental of the game can wear on you, especially when things start going the other way. Who's going to battle? Who's punching next? Hats off again to the offensive line, man. 3 guys playing pretty much every snap. It's not norm. But they work their tails off to give an opportunity, but you become tired. Things happen that are unthought of or what we didn't think we were going to expect. And I think Coach will look at it and be able to take what he got from it, right? The best part is it's the first game of the NAL season. Yeah. A lot of room for growth. That was a big thing that, when I talked to David Ross after, he said it's just started. They're going to start working on some more things and obviously take the pieces that you have. Everybody's on notice. This isn't going to be over for the Omaha Beef.
That's right. I thought going back to the game, a huge play in the game, I thought. The Beef were up 10-0. They were knocking on the door. They had a 4th and goal at the 2, a chance to go up maybe 17-0 there at that point. They get stopped. Pueblo goes down and scores. It's 10-6. I mean, that's a huge 13, 14-point swing there. That was a huge part of the game where I thought if the Beef could go up maybe 17-0 there, maybe you have a different feel to that first half.
Well, and I mean, that even carries on later on, right? They had another opportunity to go up 9 where Contreras could have come out, kicked a field goal. We didn't go for it. We went for it on 4th down, didn't get it. So those turning points are things that are sometimes controllable. sometimes it's a mental battle that they're going for. And I think those are the exact moments where you could say, what can we do better? What can we change? We know that coach doesn't want to leave points on the field. You have Contreras, who, I'm telling you, once he hit that opening field goal, that to me locked in. If you need points, he's going to put them on the board.
Right.
A lot of faith has to go into that. But of course, it's growing pains, right? You're down some players. We'll obviously get into that. I know people are on all the socials going, where's this person? Where's that person?
Right.
There's some technicalities that are still lingering from last season, which I know we'll get into, that we now can look past because those are done and over with after week 1.
Right. We're going to kind of switch up the show a little bit tonight. Normally, after segment 1, we bring on Coach Negron. Instead, we're going to bring on the owner, Ricky Burtz. He wants to address some of those things and talk to the Beef Nation about why some of the guys, weren't able to play on Saturday. So we're going to get a little bit into that here with owner Ricky Burtz, but we're going to stay with the game and talk a little bit more about it. Despite the struggles in the first half, it was 24-12 at halftime, and then the opening kickoff of the second half, I call him the diminutive one, Otis Odom, takes it to the house on the kickoff return, brings life into the slaughterhouse. It's 31-12, 20 seconds in to the third quarter, and you're thinking as a Beef fan, here we go. I mean, we're rolling. We're going to get things going here. Things are going to go well. 0 points after that kickoff return for a touchdown. No one saw that coming. The Beef outscored 32-7 in the second half. What were your thoughts as to maybe a few key factors as to why things didn't go well in that second half?
Well, I know the momentum. It's a small swing. Was the not going for the field goal was one.
Yep.
Second thing is the Pueblo Punishers have nothing to lose. They are here. They are battling the whole time. They could have easily let the Slaughterhouse fans get to them.
Yeah.
They never quit. They kept running with what they had, and they just continued to convert. And it's all about getting first down after first down after first down. Of course, we know, again, pressure up front, different when you have different people in there. We'll see what this next week brings. But it's these type of things where your roster is either all available or not that can affect the end of the game, because 21 players is not a lot. And when someone holds a spot and they're not there available, that's another person that has to pick it up. We obviously have a lot of the players in the right position, but having a full 21 on the roster, full 21 able to play, that I think could have been that game changer at the end of the game as exhaustion comes in and just different set of eyes, right? They have a very strong defensive backfield for Omaha Beef, and you're still growing pains through that because you have some rookies picking up some time. You had Meeks out there. You had, Perkins out there, like 2 young guys who are just getting their feet wet. And I think, when they're on the field as much as they were in that late in the game, sometimes it all comes together. It's all coinciding to the factors, right? Why.
Right. Pueblo got it going offensively. They cut the Beef lead to 31-25. And Odom strikes again, doesn't take it to the house, but sets the Beef up with great field position inside the 5-yard line after another great kickoff return. Another pivotal moment in that game, K DuB, where if the Beef score, they go up 2 scores there, maybe a different outcome. But they were stopped again, turned away by the Pueblo defense. And I don't want to take anything away from the Pueblo defense because they have some dudes that can play on that side of the football. But we're going to talk with Coach Negron, and he's going to say the same. I already know what he's going to say. He hates empty possessions, and he really hates it when his offense is set up, with basically a 1st and goal after a huge kickoff return, and then they're unable to come away with any points. That's a huge momentum change in the game, I thought there.
And it just kind of kills your environment. It makes it where fans have to dig deep. I think we as the hype people, me and DJ next one, and even Ricky, we try to make sure the fans understand you're a part of the game. The way that you go with the defense, they will go as well. So, yes, it's great when we could get the chance going, But I tell you, when we could get those Omaha Beef Nation getting those chants led when we're not doing it every down, that helps that defense get motivated. You see, as soon as you see your players doing this, they want you to get loud. And I think there was a couple of times on that defense where that is a momentum killer or a momentum switch for them, where they can just dig a little deeper and they feel the fans feeding into them. I mean, how many penalties have we caused at the slaughterhouse to the opposing team just for being loud?
Right. And you saw that a little bit on Saturday night as well. I think Pueblo flagged 11 times in that ball game, and a few of them had to do with the Beef crowd. I thought the crowd was good. I mean, especially in that first half, they had a lot of energy. I thought in the second half, when things kind of started going in the wrong direction, I thought we could have used them a little bit more. But I thought definitely in the first half they were engaged. It was a good crowd. I think it may have been, like I said, up in the booth when we were calling the game, it just was kind of a weird feeling. You just never felt like comfortable, even though the lead, got to 19 points there early in the third quarter. I just think the fans were kind of waiting for something to happen to kind of really get them involved in the game in the second half.
Well, and it just proves again, I mean, we've said it multiple times. There's no time and no score that is safe in this league.
That's right.
Teams can score quickly, fast, and change the momentum, and you got to stick to your guns. So, I mean, that was a big key to the third and fourth quarter, is sticking to what is going on for your team, and then also just the quick momentum changes that you got to reverse.
The Beef outgained 208-19 total yardage-wise. David Ross had a good game. He had a touchdown run and a touchdown reception. We're going to talk with him a little bit later on in the playoff segment. The Beef rushed for 67 yards on 18 carries. I thought the run game was pretty good. The passing game, 9 for 23, just 52 yards, 2 interceptions.
Well, and Coach did try to give a rhythm. Those short passes, it's kind of like in basketball. It's like a layup. Give those short bunnies. Get in a rhythm. And that's the one thing that needed to go all the way through the end, is the finishing through the rhythm. If you can read the quarterback's eyes, and I'm always in the end zone, so I could see kind of the progression. If I'm watching you the whole time and I know where you're going, I'm sure the defense, and that's just where they have to grow in this game. Your look-off skill has to be so strong because the field is so small. You don't have a chance to eye a guy down for more than 2 seconds. They're hitting that cut to get in front to get an interception.
The loss to Pueblo ends a 21-game home win streak for the Beef. And the last time, K DuB, the Beef lost a home opener, 2017, 9 years ago, to the Sioux City Bandits. So a tough loss for the Beef. The good news is the sun came up today. But, dude, last week I was here. I was wearing shorts. I come out. I go outside. I'm like, what is going on? It's freezing outside.
I can
That's
tell
Nebraska,
you this,
man.
I did not leave the house at all yesterday. That wind
yesterday was brutal.
Wanna be snow?
Yeah.
You think it was blizzard here in Nebraska for those players that are visiting. I'm sure they got an eye-opening welcome to Omaha yesterday when you go from shorts to the big jackets. And guess what we're going to be this weekend?
I know.
Back in the 70s and 80s as they're traveling down to Salina.
My closet's confused, man. My closet's confused. We went from shorts to winter coats, and we're going to go back to shorts here in a couple days, so we'll take it. We're going to take a quick break here at Goose's Bar and Grill. It's week 3 of the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with owner Ricky Burtz right after this.
Omaha Beef Football, Prime Dancers, Rump Roasters, Slaughterhouse, are you ready? DJ next one. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse where we run it. Yeah, we really want it. Beef Nation, girl, I'm shaking. Got a ring and we flown it. Prime Dancers be on it. I bet the competition's no opposition. We come to take and we done it. Ricky is the chief saying, let's go Beef. Welcome to the Soldier Black, about to win this. Defense stays on attack. You on a hit list. Spiking, blocking, and dumping, jumping out the gymnasium. You want to see the best leaders at the Beef Stadium. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Let's go, Beef. Orange Kingdom. Slaughterhouse. Orange Kingdom. Line dancers. Orange Kingdom. Let's roll, baby.
Welcome back to the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. Jason Unger, DJ K DuB at GOOSE'S Bar and Grill in Papillion. We'll be here every Monday night, 6 to 7. If you're out and about and want to stop in for some good food, some cold beer. Of course, St. Patrick's Day is coming up on Tuesday. Everybody, I guess that's tomorrow. Wow. It is Monday today. Wow. Okay. Yeah. St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Everybody's ready for that. It's a big time of year. Of course, we've got the NCAA basketball tournament starting on Thursday and Friday, a day full of basketball. So this is a great time of year. Everybody looking forward to it. Come on out to GOOSE'S Bar and Grill. They'll take care of you tomorrow night for St. Patty's Day and, of course, throughout the NCAA basketball tournament. Glad to be joined by Ricky Burtz. Ricky, I know I talked about it earlier. It's not often we come on here after a loss. For me, it hardly has ever happened in the past 3 years, but here we are today. The sun came up. I wanted to bring you on tonight to kind of talk to the Omaha Beef fans who, again, I mean, they're fans, so they want to see the success on the field. They don't live and breathe the Omaha Beef like you do and may not understand everything that goes in to all the things the players have to go through and get ready for each week to week. There were a couple of guys missing last week, and I'm sure the fans, when they got to the game, were like, you know, where are these guys? Why aren't they playing? We wanted to bring you on to kind of clear that up, talk a little bit about that, why some of the main guys were unavailable last week.
Well, first of all, Jason, I'm going to say that our fans are not accustomed to seeing us lose at home. And if you really think about it, our fans have only experienced 2 losses at home over the last 4 years.
Right.
And so I think that's a testament to the organization across the board as far as the expectations that we have of what we do on and off the football field. All I'm going to say is that, I'd say I read a lot of the comments on Saturday. For full transparency, one of our people that work in the office was like, hey, she started hiding the comments. And I said, no, I don't want those hidden. I want everybody to see what those are. There's no point in hiding behind what the results are. I mean, the results that we got on Saturday aren't what we wanted them to be or what we're accustomed to. But at the end of the day, like I said, if you think about that, we've lost 2 home games, one of them being a preseason game in the last 4 years in Omaha. So our fans aren't used to that. And I think that when that does happen, you know, I think that the first knee-jerk reaction that people have, and look, I mean, the fans are entitled to their opinion, and we want them to have their opinion. But at the same time, I'll say this. I mean, there are some things that happen and go on within the organization that need to remain within the organization, and that's where they're going to remain at. But I will say this to all of the business partners, the fans, the supporters of the organization, is that we are where we are today because we've made those decisions before in the past. And so we're not going to deviate or change from those decisions, the expectations that we have of what we expect. And so it's because that we're going to adhere to that. That's going to be our success going forward. Now, look, nobody wants to lose a game at all, period. And again, we've been very, very spoiled by wins and losses here in Omaha. But I'll say this is that our focus is on getting to the championship game. Whatever happens will happen from there. And I can say that the decisions that were made, at the end of the day, Coach Negron has unilateral say-so on what goes on and what happens on the football side of stuff. And I would never want to be in, if I was in his shoes, as I say before, Bill Parcells says that I'm expected to cook. I should be allowed to do the grocery shopping. And he has 100% say-so on what happens on that side. Now, he will run stuff by me, just FYI about this or that, or this is what's going on. And I can say definitively that every decision that he made leading up to the game on Saturday I would have made the exact same decision myself. And actually, in fact, if he would have made a decision differently than what he would have made, I would have been disappointed in the coaching staff and him. And that really would have led to me questioning, are we really on the same page if he would have made a decision differently than what he did? Because I can say definitively, I support it wholeheartedly. I would have made the exact same decisions that he made. And the stuff that was made, that's just best to remain in-house, you know?
Sure.
Every decision we make, every goal, objective we have is for the final game of the season. And if we didn't make the decisions that we did, then I think we're going to jeopardize that at the end of the year. And so I'm 100% on board with that. I want everybody to hear that and know that. And we're going to be fine. It's one game. I'm happy that it's not the last game.
Right.
I mean, I think we're all happy it's not the last game because we've experienced what it's been like for it to be the last game of the season. And so, I mean, look, we're gonna grow from it. We're gonna learn from it. There are some advantages that hopefully we'll have this coming weekend that we didn't have this week. And like, hey, we got a tough game. I mean, the NAL across the board is a more competitive league than it's ever been. And Kendall, you talked about it. Hats off to Pueblo. They played a great game. They never quit, you know. Like I will say this, their head coach or their assistant head coach and their defensive coordinator on the football field are former Omaha Beef players and coaches. Yeah. So I think that's a testament that they know what kind of environment they were coming into. And just like how we talk about us as a team, we never give up, we never quit. Well, they've instilled that in their culture as an organization as well. So I'll say hats off to them, you know. But I think we learned some important lessons, but also too, I mean, we had some players that had an opportunity to shine, and Otis Odom again had a kickoff return for a touchdown, almost had two. You know what I mean? That is a weapon that we haven't had here in Omaha the entire time I've been here, for full transparency, you know, and so. Players are going to get opportunities to step on up and make plays. You know, I know that the coaching staff is putting them in the best possible decision. And at the end of the day, I'm focused on where we're going to be at the end of the season, not the first game. Don't get me wrong. We want to start off. It's better to start off winning versus losing. But again, we are where we need to be. We're making the decisions that we need to make, doing the things that we need to do from an office standpoint, a coaching standpoint, a player standpoint, that are going to get us where we want to be at the end of the year. And for us, that's a 6th consecutive championship game.
Yeah. That being said, last week we were here. It was announced that Demery Croft was going to be the starter for the Beef. We had Demery on the show, talked to him about the season and picked his brain a little bit. He was unavailable on Saturday. Can the Beef fans expect to see him in Salina?
I have no doubt in my mind that Demery Croft is going to be the player that I know that Coach Negron built his entire offseason around, and I'm excited to have number 15 back out there on the football field. There'll probably be some new faces or familiar faces out there as well. And look, make no mistake about it. I mean, we're going up against a Hall of Fame coach in the game this weekend, so he's going to have a full game plan for us. But again, I like my odds. I like our team's odds of what we're going to do. Last time we went down there, we've taken care of business, and the expectation is we're going to do the exact same thing for this weekend as well.
All right, sounds good. You got anything, K DuB?
No, I know there was a couple players some people didn't realize from last year, the way it ended, that were not available for this game. Are we clear to say they're available as well, if anybody had that? I know a couple of the fans were asking for Washington and Conliffe. Is that anything that we're able to – will they be ready for Saturday?
Look, I mean, I'm just going to say this. At the championship game last year, and I've been doing this for 2+ decades, I've never seen a more poorly ran organization of what took place during the football game, where a family member's children were put into a terrible situation. And I commend the hell out of Kai Black, Devonair Conliffe, and Jayshon Washington for what they did. Because I think anybody that would be put in that same position, that same situation, would have done the exact same thing. And even more than that, I commend them even more because the situation could have got even worse. I mean, Kendall, you and I have kids. Jason, you do as well. And I'm just going to say it just to say it. But whenever you're playing a football game and a complete stranger is holding your 3-year-old daughter that you don't know, at the same time, your 3-year-old daughter's mother is getting the crap beat out of her by 5 people at once. I mean, there's things that are bigger than football. You know? So I will never fault them for what they did. They did the right thing. They went up there with the intention of de-escalating the situation. Unfortunately, and I mean, we haven't talked about it. Unfortunately, the league does not condone players going into the stands. We have seen before where players have gone into the stands and they've been suspended indefinitely from the league. I'll say in regards to Jay, Sean, and Dev, they were suspended 1 game, and the league had to do something. And for full transparency, their head coach, who it's on YouTube, came on over, got in our bench, and got in my face and said he didn't do it. And I don't care if I get fucking fined for this, It's on YouTube. He did it. He got suspended for the whole year for what he did.
Right.
Our players did not get suspended for the whole year, and that speaks to their character of who they are. And it's that character and the things that we do on the football field and off the football field that separates us. And then again, I know it's where we're going to be, where we want to be at the end of the season. So yes, Jay, Sean, and Dev have served their game suspension. I understand why the league handed down what it is that they did, but make no mistake about it. If that situation happened 100 times, I would tell them 100 times out of 100 times to do the exact same thing. And I don't think anybody who has kids would fault them for doing that themselves. You have a complete freaking stranger. You're 1,000 miles away from home, and they're holding your child in the stand while their mom is getting the crap beat out of them. And that's just what piss poor organizations do from a security standpoint. I'm not going to fault them. I mean, and so look, they beat us fair and square or whatever like that, but I don't care. I mean, at what point in time is a player able to focus in on a football game? Right. He's worried about his freaking family in the stands. All right. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So, yeah.
No, that leaves it right where we want it, knowing that they're available, ready to go, and they sat out, did their time, they did the right thing, and you speak volumes to exactly what any parent would do. It's the last thing you ever want. Safety is a concern, and that goes no matter where these teams play. These athletes need to be able to just worry about one thing, and that's the game. So hopefully everywhere continues to push that.
And I'll say this, look, we have a very hostile environment when people come to Omaha to play, but I have never heard in my entire existence while I'm here, a family member from another team be concerned for their well-being, their child's well-being. And that is a testament to our fans. That's a testament to our partners. That's a testament to the job that the arena does. Look, I mean, that's just straight up Bush League what they did. We operate differently here. And even though we didn't have the luxury of Beaumont coming and playing in Omaha, even though that's how they operate, we hold ourselves to a higher standard as an organization that shit will never happen in Omaha.
That's why we call him the best owner in the league. Ricky, thank you for joining us. Thank you for always hopping on and being 100% honest. I know you wanted to hop on. We talked earlier this afternoon. You wanted to clear the air and kind of set things right and let the Beef fans know that moving forward, the Omaha Beef are going to be fully focused and ready to go for the rest of the year.
100%. We got a game this weekend, and it's done in the past. I mean, look, we're going to take care of business this week. We're going to focus on the week after that and the week after that, because the goal is to be playing June 21st here in Omaha for what is going to be our sixth consecutive championship game. That's what we're focused on. And by making the decisions and doing the things that we're doing on the field and off the field, I have 100% confidence in the entire organization, from the office staff, the coaching staff, even to the players, of what's expected of them to do. And we're going to do the right thing, and we're going to take care of business from there.
All right. Thanks, brother. Ricky Burtz, the owner of the Omaha Beef, always an honest opinion when he joins the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. We appreciate that. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk some swag over there, DJ K DuB.
No, we got the highlight right before we bring Coach in.
Are we going to do the highlights now? All right.
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the game with Pueblo, and then we're going to bring in head coach Brandon Negron. It's the Omaha. Welcome back to the Omaha Beef Coaches Show live at Goose's Bar and Grill in Papillion. The reason why we are here every week, the coach is in the house. Coach Brandon Agrone joining us tonight. And we talked about it. It's not often we come on here Mondays after a loss, and it's kind of a weird feeling. It's kind of a little bit subdued in here. I know guys are getting ready for a hard week of practice and getting ready to add one to the win column on Saturday night against Salina. But I guess I want to start. Todd and I were talking during the broadcast. It was just kind of a weird feeling up along press row throughout the game. It just never felt, and you're an offensive guy, we talk about it all the time, it just never felt like the offense could get any kind of rhythm going, throughout the game. But yet there were times when it felt like you guys were in complete control. I mean, you get the 37-yard field goal, you're clicking on special teams, you get the defensive score. I mean, you're up 10-0 in the middle of the second quarter. I mean, even with the offense performing the way they were, you still had to feel like you were in a pretty good position.
We did. Look, I heard you say it in the first segment. We were up 31-12. I think that I have a responsibility to put my team in a position to win a game when we're up 31-12. I'm not going to put it on the offense or the defense. I shouldn't put the defense in that position to where they're on their heels constantly. I think we just offensively, look, we went in to the game with our backup QB, and let me shout out Tyler Lowenstein. He found out Friday afternoon that I was going to be starting him. He did not take starting reps in practice, so threw him out there, for lack of a better description, as sheep amidst the wolves. We had, our number one receiver out due to a league suspension. We still have a couple of receivers that are on IR, and Jordan Barton and Brentley Allen. We were inept, and I, as someone who is an offensive guy, you guys have said that often, and I agree with you, and I consider myself one of the better offensive minds in this league. We just weren't good. That's on me, 100% on me. It won't happen again. I can tell you that right now. But you're right. We never got in an offensive rhythm that felt like an offense that I call, that Coach Kane calls. We're going to fix that. So,
of course, you talk about empty possessions. There was a couple. Of course, you got to trust in Contreras hitting that 37. Was there a reason you didn't go with him later in the game when those points could have kept at least the momentum in on your side when it came to it?
Well, momentum's a funny thing. What you guys think is momentum at certain points of the game, I may disagree. When we are 2 yards away from the end zone, we should be able to score. So if I'm going for it on 4th and 2 from the 2, it's because I have the utmost confidence in my O-line and whoever I call the play to get the ball into the end zone. I'm not used to not scoring from the 2-yard line. The point that you're talking about, the second field where we could have went up 9. Look, man, 9 is one possession. 9 is not 2 possessions. This isn't the NFL, right? So in the NFL, you can score 8 and then you're kicking off. There's no deuce option, right? So
sure.
So 9 is one possession. I wanted to be up 2 possessions, right? And I felt that if we went up 2 possessions, we would put them away. That's what I felt. So it could be a little bit of ego, could be a little frustration, guys. I mean, I can go hindsight and second guess every call I make that doesn't work out. But I didn't want to be up 9. I wanted to be up double digits.
No,
and it's partially because, look, Josh Hollins is playing really well. I had Josh here last season. So I think I know a little bit about him as a quarterback. I also thought their receiving core played really well. I thought our defense did what they could do. But I heard you mention, Kellen, further, we had a rookie DB out there. and some guys that are new, right, to the team, getting acclimated to the defensive system that Coach Loftus has in place. So when I feel that we have an opportunity to put a foot on somebody and close something out, I'm going to take that chance, even if it's unconventional wisdom or the analytics don't lend to my decision.
Well, I like how you cleared it up. It's more of giving that picture that we don't realize or the fans might not realize. So I appreciate you going in detail, especially about the 9 and the 2 possessions, because like you said, people think 9 is 2. It's not.
It's not in this game.
We're 2 days removed now. The offensive woes that we saw on Saturday night, how confident, and I know you are, so I already know the answer to this question. How confident that those offensive issues, how confident are you that those can be fixed in just a short week?
What's
of
the
practice
highest
before we
number
go to Salina?
percentage you want to pick? pick one. Is it 1,000,000%? Is it infinity?
We always have this debate. Can you really go more than 100%?
Well, we can. If
it's
that's the
possible,
answer you need to hear.
All right.
Look, we have Demery coming back this week, and everybody knows that we've put a lot in him in terms of leading our team. I've already made some transactions today that I believe elevate our offense. And look, the guys I have in the locker room, they know we dropped one here, guys. Look, again, what haunts me is the fact that, again, we were up 31-12, and I let a team come back. And now let me be really respectful of Pueblo. They played a great game. But when a team that I lead is up by 19 points midway through the third quarter, we're supposed to put that away, right?
Right.
2 offensive touchdowns, and we've scored 45, right? 45, 44 is the win. So that's not going to happen again. We're gonna get back in the lab, the coaches. We're gonna get back to practice tomorrow, and we're gonna look at and this is really where I'm at. I spent yesterday watching film. I'm gonna watch more film tonight. There's a turning point in that game. I have to look at where the turning point is, and that's where you ultimately start the correction process from. But look, David Ross is playing out of his mind. We're getting some receiving weapons back this week. I got some new weapons coming in that I think when our fan base sees the names is going to know we're going to be just fine.
I want to talk about some positives.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't want to.
We love positives.
Yeah, we don't want to. We don't want to drown in our
I'm
sorrows
positive
here,
the offense is going to be much better.
We know that, but a couple of positives that I was able to take away from the game. Defensively, you come away with 2 turnovers. You give up just a few over 200 yards of total offense. So for the most part, I thought the defense really held up pretty well. I mean, I know you hate time of possession, but it felt like the defense was on the field for a long time.
Well, they were.
I mean, especially in that second half. So considering all of those things, I thought the defense held up pretty well.
Yeah, look, you take the Odom kick return.
Right.
But that puts the defense right back on the field, right? It's 20 seconds of a break.
I think it was 53 minutes of actual time between snaps for the offense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when you throw in halftime there. So, I mean, that's tough. I mean, that's hard to get into a rhythm when you're not on the field.
You're not on the field, yeah. The defense, look, again, your defense plays as a product of what your offense does, right? So there's different things you can do scoring fast isn't always the best thing for the defense. A nice sustained drive where you score allows the defense to recover, get their bodies right. I thought the defense played great. Again, we have to do our part on the offensive side of the ball. If you keep putting them on their heels, it's bound out. Look, this is a game that's predicated on scoring, right? So that they can only do so much. Terrence Jackson's playing out of his mind. Look, it's funny because TJ and I would probably argue on a weekly basis. I hope we keep arguing because clearly it's working. He's playing great. I think you guys got to see glimpses of the D line, right? I told you all this was going to be a hell of a different D line. Rudy Naguni, Brandon Munoz, Devontae Wright, Raymond Cutts playing some D-line. We're getting what we want. Look, one of their touchdowns was defensive, right? That interception. Yep. So really, they scored 37 points on offense. We will win. We will win a lot of ball games if we're holding teams to 37 points. We're gonna win a lot of ball games.
Well, I like how you brought it up in the trenches. I felt both sides, especially again offense. Those three playing pretty much every play. Your defense. What I loved about it was the good ability to rotate. How important was that on both sides of the ball throughout the game for you guys?
I mean, really important. And look, not having Jay Sean Washington, he can play both sides of the ball too. So, that's a testament to the conditioning of my O-line, right? Because they didn't get a break, even though, we weren't on the field as much as we wanted to be offensively. They didn't get a break. And I thought our O-line played as good as they could. It'll be nice to get Jay Wash back. Now we have the ability to kind of have that guy that can be that two-way player. David Ross can be a two-way player too. We need to make sure that we have some spells for him as well. So, again, I don't want to keep saying we'll be fine, but we'll be fine, right? it just some things have to happen this week, and we make adjustments, and that's what coaching is, right? It didn't turn out the way we wanted to, but this is to take some positives out of it. We went with 3 guys on the O-line. A lot of teams will go with 4 or 5 bigs in the game, or at least a swing guy. We didn't have that, and my O-line, I think, played a really good game.
Yeah, I thought so too. And since Todd's not here, I'm going to stay on the positive note and talk special teams. I mean, he would never let me do this if he was here.
This is the one show he should have been here.
That's right. Yeah. Coach Stewart and the special teams group, I mean, you have to be thrilled with the way the season has started with that group.
What I'm thrilled about, Jason, is I've got 3 coaches. So my whole coaching staff has bought into my commitment to special teams, right? So you got Coach Martinez, Coach Kane, Coach Stewart, all participating in building this special teams thing. Right. Like if I can get 1 touchdown a game from special teams, and then on top of it, I have a kicker that went 1 for 1 on field goals, 4 for 4 on extra points. It's a reason why you guys are asking me questions about field goals, because you think this guy can hit any field goal anywhere in the arena, and I agree. That's why we harp on it, right? There are teams in this league that I know for a fact went into games this weekend without a kicker. I think that's crazy. Yeah, I think that there was no question in my mind on the first drive when we stalled to bring Chase in to kick a field goal, and he blasted that thing.
Yeah, that was nice.
And so I deserve the questions you're asking about why you didn't do it later, because the first evidence you had, first drive, he splits the uprights from 37 yards out, right? Hits every extra point. He's going to learn the finesse of kicking a deuce. I was just talking with Coach Martinez while I was waiting to come on, just about what's required from a kicker to kick a deuce. Once he gets that, I have the best kicker in the league. I'm not trying to say anything negative about Pueblo because they beat us, but you can see the value in kicking. Their kicker missed a few extra points, right? So I don't currently have that problem, and that's wonderful.
And Munoz is your long snapper, right?
He is.
This year. And man, oh man, what a difference he's made in that aspect. Of course, Moose is going to handle any snap that comes back to him. I mean, those 2 parts of the kicking game are often overlooked, but I thought major upgrade with Munoz getting the ball back there.
It is. And the nice thing is when Jordan Barton comes back, we have 2, right? 2 guys that do a unique part of our game.
Right.
Look, we're not gonna be deficient in any area of the game. And I think that, lends back to how this whole conversation started. Look, I like where we are on defense. I love where we are on special teams. We're not where we need to be offensively, and that's my wheelhouse. That's Coach Kane's. We're going to fix that. So that should tell everybody all you need to know about the direction things are going to go. I don't ever want to take a loss. I certainly don't want to take a loss at the slaughterhouse. But boy, oh boy, did this shit wake me up.
Well, and now we're about to hit the road, head down for the first road game, going to Salina. taking that heat of a team that obviously the Omaha Beef have a history with back in the CIF, but here we are, new coaches, new players. It's go ball game, first road game. What are you guys looking to set as your routine and get these players to get in that regular travel routine? Because it's not just 1 week, it's back to back. And if you don't get them where they're in that rhythm of how to travel, it could also adjust that game.
I think it'll be good to get away. Just something happens with teams when you're on the road, right? There's bonding on the way there. You bond in the team hotel. It's just you guys, right? Like we've got, this no. Look, when we come back home, I want the fans to be excited about what we did on the road, right? So, it'll give the fans a couple watch parties to go to. We'll go take care of business, and then we come back home, April 4th, and we've got the I-29 rivalry on April 4th. So I think it's good for us. Look, I'm going up against a coach that unequivocally will be in the Hall of Fame, and then another coach, on March 28th in Gary Thomas that is about as good as you can get in this game. So these are tough tests, but again, I think we've made some moves today, and we'll make some moves tomorrow that are indicative of my commitment to winning here. And I think that, like I said, just getting away. Let's get on a bus and get away. And when you go on the road, you've got nothing else to think about but playing football. Nothing. It's, I don't know much about Salina, Kansas, but I'm confident there's not much there for us to do. So we're going to go there, take care of business, come home, get ready for Southwest Kansas, follow the same thing. I don't think there's much to do in Dodge. I've been there one time. There wasn't much to do when I was there. And then you get back home, right? So this is a tough stretch for us. Look, this is going to tell me what kind of team I have, right? The game that when you look at the schedule, guys, and again, I don't want to be disrespectful to Pueblo by any means, but they're an expansion team, right? So when you look at the schedule and you have an expansion team at home for your first week, and you look at this first 4 before our bye, that's a game we should have won, right? Right. We bumped our heads. We're 0-1 now, right? So now we've got 2 tough road games and then the I-29 rivalry, and everybody watched the Sioux City's game this week. Lorenzo looks great. Proud of him. Their defense played really well. So we don't have a lot of time to get right. So, again, do the work that I'm doing now on the transaction board. Get back to practice tomorrow. Go win a game on the road. That starts the reset.
Coach Negron, we appreciate you. We know you wear your heart on your sleeve. We can tell how much this means to you. The sun came up today.
It did.
It came up. It usually does. Losing sucks. We're all competitors. But the sun came up, and another opportunity this weekend to get back in the win column.
My boss has said go to work, so I went to work.
All right. We appreciate you. Thanks for joining
you guys.
us.
Appreciate
As
it.
always, good luck Saturday in Salina. We're going to take a quick break. Now we're going to talk some swag, right, K DuB? Yeah, let's talk some swag, and then we're going to have running back David Ross to close out the show. The players segment coming up after this break.
Omaha Beef Football, Prime Dancers, Rump Roasters, Slaughterhouse, are you ready? DJ next one. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse where we run it. Yeah, we really want it. Beef Nation got 'em shaking. Got a ring and we flown it. Prime Dancers be on it. I bet the competition's no opposition. We come to take and we done it. Ricky is the chief saying, let's go beef. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. Orange and Black. About to win this. Defense stays on attack. You on a hit list. Spike blocking and dumping, jumping out the gymnasium. You want to see the best? Meet us at the Beef Stadium. Yeah.
Let's roll, baby.
Welcome back to the Omaha Beef Coaches Show, live at Goose's Bar and Grill in Papillion. We're getting ready to wrap up the show. It's time for our player segment, and we are happy tonight to be joined by the running back, David Ross, in the house tonight. Your first appearance on the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. We're glad to have you.
Thank you for having me.
It was also the top dog powder coating offensive player of the week as well.
That's right.
Scoring on both sides of the ball. But what I loved about his very first message, it wasn't about what he did. It's about what they're going to do and what their plans are to do. He says early in the season, a lot of time to grow together. And I think when a player can leave that message, even when they're doing what they need to do, they know that there's more on the other side. And I think that's huge as a leadership on that offensive side.
Have you been able to, I mean, this is your second year, obviously, with the Beef. Have you been able to step into more of a leadership role? Are you comfortable doing that a little bit more now that you've been a part of the team for a couple years?
Yeah, I mean, I'm of course, I'm trying to. You know, I'm trying to be a leader that this team needs. But a lot of it, I think, is, you know, I want to lead by example for the most part. You know, we got great leaders on this team already that could do the hoorah talking, but I'm a firm believer in just leading by example.
Right. Running over guys is kind of how you lead by example, right?
Yeah.
Score on the ground, you get a touchdown catch. Talk about the versatility. I mean, last year you played some tight end. You're obviously comfortable at being the lead back. Talk about being able to be a factor not only in the run game, but also in the passing game.
For me personally, it's just, you know, I just want to be the best athlete I can for my guys. You know, when my number gets called, I just want to be able to make that play for them. And that's really it. You know, when my number is called, I just want to make a play.
You need to talk Coach Loftus into getting you some time at backer. Can we make that happen?
We'll see. I mean, I could come downhill and smack somebody. That's for sure. Yeah.
There we go.
Of course, like he brought up last year, you were sitting behind a Hall of Famer with Tobias. Mm-hmm. You have the same mentality of just letting your work be the talk. How much did you learn from last year that you're able to roll into this year and who you are?
So, you know, last year, of course, I was a rookie in Carolina. I had Tobias and James Summers ahead of me on the depth chart. You know, that was amazing. You know, I've learned so much from those two guys. So I give them a lot of credit as far as how I play as a running back.
What does David Ross like to do when he's not on the football field? Where can we find you when it's not 25 degrees below zero? Say like on a nice day, like where can we find you when you're not playing
in the
football?
Weight room. In the weight room.
Indoors?
Yeah.
Indoors.
Okay. I'm in the gym.
All right. I gotta throw it out here. If there's a place I could throw it out, it's going to be here. So I do these wonderful questions of the players. And the first one was about what their favorite pregame meal was.
Yeah. I saw
what
that.
I love about this dude is he's a joker as well. And he reads the room well. He does his little thing where he like gets that big chest. He's like, fruit cup. I'm like, bro, did you just swole up on me for a fruit cup?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he sets the tempo in everything he does. And I just love the leadership by example. But also the availability when his team needs him. You need a player to fill in. He's shown the whys for anybody. If you ever question why someone's on a team and you're not seeing what he's doing all around, not just when it's his time to go, but all around, I just don't think you watch the game. That's right. As far as you can lay it.
Right.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Talk about the first road game. I mean, are you looking forward to hitting the road with the boys this week? Coach Negron talked about it. I mean, after a tough loss, maybe it is good to get away from Omaha and get on the road and just concentrate on football.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to take a step back to go 2 steps forward. I think that's how all of us are really taking this in. But, yeah, we're excited. You know, we're hungry. You know, we're eager to get back out there. And you know, things are going to be different. You know, championships aren't won on week 1. So we're going to put that behind us and get rocking and rolling for week 2.
Right.
How were you able to hold the composure in the first 24 hours with your team? What was some of the things that you had to make sure your teammates understood that maybe the newcomers don't understand?
I think the biggest thing is just be yourself out there. you know. And Coach Negron tells me that all the time. It's just be yourself and let your pads do the talking, let your game do the talking. You know, don't go out there and just, pretend to be someone you're not. Just be yourself, do your 1/8, and that's how you win games here.
David Ross, thanks for joining us tonight, big guy. We appreciate it. Good luck this weekend in Salina.
Yes, sir.
We know you'll tear it up.
Yes, sir. Thanks,
buddy.
Man.
DJ K DuB, it's time to wrap up the show. Let's talk a little bit about Primetime Beef Huddle on Thursdays.
Thursday night, 7 p.m. You can catch it just like you can with the Coaches Show on all the social media. We like to go in depth with players, some of the partners, and I hope you guys are finding out when you're looking for a service or you're looking for things that are connected to your Omaha beef, this is where you go. And let them know this is where you saw them. We appreciate that. And then, of course, we have the watch parties coming up next 2 Saturdays. Yeah. I'll be hosting those at our Herd at Sports Bar in La Vista. It'll be back in the back room. I know they've made some changes on their side. I know me and Coach went and saw their new menu. They got some different items. But if you're worried about watching the game, the NAL network, anything of that sort, that's your choice. I know that's where we'll be doing it, where you can come watch it, be amongst some of the rump roasters and other fans. But I also know you guys are going on the road, and I know Todd will find out, and hopefully we can post it, but he believes with you guys doing the radio broadcast, that should be the feed for the game.
Right.
But we'll, of course, have those details whenever. But if not, it's available on the live stream and everything where you can hear it. So multiple ways to really find the game on Saturday. I notice sometimes, of course, I get the notifications from fans on all the Omaha Beef stuff. I promise you, there's ways to get this game. You just got to be involved to find it, and we'll get you there.
That's right. It's the Omaha Beef and the Salina Liberty at the Pizza Palace in Salina, Kansas, 6:30 on Saturday. For the standout running back, David Ross, owner Ricky Burtz, head coach Brandon Negron, DJ K DuB. It's been awesome the last couple weeks, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Yes, sir. And always remember, go Beef!
The standard is the standard. We set the standard.